The man, the myth, the legend here. Bringer of Rain Boxing Talk here, folks. Coming at you with some more boxing news here, guys. So, we all know not too long ago, I think it was about a month or so ago, the WBA decided to strip Manny Pacquiao of his champion belt. And this was mostly due to inactivity. However, I gotta say though, that was kind of a ballsy move from the WBA to strip maybe the greatest boxer to ever live of his belt. I mean, that took some guts. I know that he was inactive for a long time, but you had to take into account as well there was a pandemic going on, and a fighter of Manny Pacquiao's stature isn't exactly going to fight in front of an empty stadium. I mean, that's just unrealistic, especially at 42 years old. If he's going to hop into the ring again, it needs to be big box office. It needs to be for a reason. I mean, the guy, he fights for the fans. And if there were no fans of the building, he was never going to fight during that pandemic. So I'm not sure why the WBA decided to do this power move and strip him anyway. I think a guy like that, Pacman, you would want to keep him as your champion as long as he's continuing to pursue, activity in boxing. They decided to elevate your Dennis Ugas as the full champion, who is a good fighter, mind you. I actually thought he beat Showtime Sean Porter in their fight. I thought he outpointed him, but that was a very questionable move in my opinion. And the WBA actually, the one of the head honchos at that sanctioning body was interviewed recently, and he talked about how he wanted to set up a fight with Ugas and Pacquiao to make one clear WBA champ. And let's just thank God for a moment that fight wasn't mandated, because that would have been an entirely waste of time for everyone involved. All that paperwork they would have filed to make that mandatory would have gone straight into the paper shredder, because I can tell you right now, there was a 0.0001% chance that Pacquiao would have accepted that fight with Ugas. Like I said, it's either big box office, it's a guy like Spence Jr., a fight that has huge historical ramifications, or a huge cash grab, something like with Conor McGregor. Those are the only fights that are going to really pique the interest of Manny Pacquiao at this point, because, like I said, he's got maybe one or two left in him, and he's not going to spend it fighting a guy like Ugas. I'm sorry, good fighter, but the WBA should know this. That would have been a waste of time if they did that. However, they talked about for this upcoming fight with Spence, they might reinstate him, and I think fans should put a little bit of pressure on the WBA, because he should have that strap around his belt. I mean, he should have that strap around his waist entering the ring, because one, he's Manny Pacquiao. He's maybe the greatest fighter ever to live. And two, this could be a huge unification match. Potentially the winner could fight, they could say Terrence Crawford needs to fight to unify all the belts. So they need to have that belt on the line. They need to make this fight as big as it possibly can be. And the first step of doing that, give the man his damn belt back. I mean, why did the WBA, come on, guys. How the hell could you strip Manny Pacquiao of his belt? He didn't lose it in the ring. And personally, I think that it would make that fight that much more attractive if there was those titles on the line. So come on, do the right thing. Give the man back his belt.